Now, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a shopkeeper. Story. I wanted to be a shopkeeper when I was growing up. And the only reason why I wanted to be a shopkeeper is because, listen, guys, you can do anything else, but make sure, and this is for the men, make sure that you work so tirelessly hard so that your children can have a room to dream. A poor man's child has no room to dream. All he thinks about is getting from that poverty, and the only thing on their head is food. It's food. So if you give them food, all they know is now I am done with poverty totally. They'll do anything to just get the food. So do anything in your capability. This is for men, this is not for women. Women will align to stoic and strong men. Men, do everything to make sure that you create room for your children to dream. A poor man's child has no dreams, has no even room to dream, leave alone the dreams. They're just nightmares. One thing, but two different views. Look at it. When we used to see a plane fly over the skies, our head we were thinking, how do these guys poop? Where do they poop? Where is their toilet? Imagine that type of mindset. When a rich man's son looks at an aeroplane flying, he's thinking that's a means of transport. Do you see those? One thing, but different goals. So I wanted to be a shopkeeper because, of course, I wanted food. I knew that I can easily take the sweets from the shop without being asked. I also knew that, of course, chapati was the order of the day, and if you ate chapati at least once or twice a year, so it was actually a delicacy. So I used to think if I become a shopkeeper, I'll simply take the wheat flour from the shop and take it home so that chapatis could be made every single day. So imagine that, my very narrow mindset. And now I've become this guy who can actually own that shop, but I don't want wheat. What is happening to us? So that was so interesting. And now ego has come in, ego sets in. And this ego, imagine you just thinking that I want to work so hard to get money so that I can afford chapati and wheat flour, so that I can afford the best foods and eat the best foods in terms of you and what you're thinking best foods are. And then you're here, you've gotten all these resources, you can afford the food, and then I come out and tell you, hey, professor, it's time for you now to eat real food, not products. And now you're looking at me, you're wondering, my friend, in the first place, you're very young. And you guys expect a doctor to be older, right? That's how the system has actually made you believe that a doctor must have this bald head with the. Yeah, you see that miwani unaangalia hivi na juu. Then you must be so experienced because age comes with experience. That is not true. That's not true. And some of you think I'm very young. When you look at me, you're thinking, "Hey, this one has to be young. This one," and that's the reason why most of you ask me, what are the success rates for these things? Have you had people coming in to tell you? That's why this testimonial Tuesday is actually important. They come and ask me, "Have you had success stories?" I'm like, "Okay, I understand your story, but why don't you be my success story? Why would you focus on somebody else's story? Why don't we focus on you? And if nothing happens, and then I don't have a success story, like build your own success story that can actually inspire you and inspire other people." Okay, and that's the reason why we started the testimonial Tuesdays, because most of you have testimonies, but you hold them back. So ego is evil. Ego is an emotion. Ego is an emotion, and emotions are actually blocking you from seeing reality and seeing things in a very appropriate way. Ego is very evil. You've heard people telling you now. You see, Jabaka just said he takes cabbages to make fermented cabbage for them, and what the family are telling him is, "Oh, why are we eating cabbages?" Some of you will even tell your daughters or your sons, "Cabbages are for rabbits. You want to feed us with cabbages?" Women keep on saying, "Cabbages will add me water." If you know what I mean, add me water. Cabbages will make me so watery. But that person who is saying about cabbages making them watery, they're already watery, and they're actually taking okra water. Sometimes they are so dry, they even need that water, but they even need that water, but they are saying cabbages will make me have a lot of water. I mean, you need hydration for you to have that environment being so awesome. Now, somebody just taps in that and brings you okra water, and you're busy taking it, hoping that that place will get to where you want it to get to, instead of just eating health in the kitchen. Please, sometimes stop creating those excuses. Eat cabbages. Eat them. They will even bring you the research and tell you this. You know, this research is actually funded by so and so from Harvard University. And when you hear Harvard, you're like, what? This is the research. Cabbages are dangerous. They make women so wet. Aye. But you need that, right? Don't you? Sonny Big.
Hey, hi, doctor.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Talk to us. This
And
is
I
the Testimonial
appreciate
Tuesday.
your teaching.
Pardon?
Oh, the testimony for somebody here,
Yes.
my friend.
Okay.
But it's a religious testimony because sometimes these people go for prayers and fasting.
Yeah.
Some go with the headache.
Yes.
So they have like 1 meal a day for 1 week. They come out to say, I'm being healed by prayers.
Yes.
But I think it's fasting. So I was talking to another religious who is an Indian.
Yes.
He was telling me, why I bring these people here sometimes
Yeah.
for healing, not only for spiritual, but when they fast, like people are not eating, they don't drink water and eat in the evening, they get healed.
Okay.
Say, I was healed by Father so and so, but that the fasting they do a week, like they eating 1 meal a day. Has helped many people, by the way, to come out of these diseases of diabetic.
Yeah.
So my testimony is I had this problem with my child. I was told she has to be taken to tonsils.
Tonsillectomy.
And then she was like mouthing or smelling mouth. What I did is every day morning nilikuwa nampea maji anaangaika na maji ya chumvi. Then she got also used to doing so. Now she cannot even get a smell. She's okay with salt water.
Amazing.
She even does it to brush her teeth, and her teeth is very good. So I give a testimony with my child. I was worried, what can I do? Just water, warm water with salt, and then she gargles every morning and evening before sleeping.
Yeah.
Now she's very okay, nothing, no smell, nothing.
But why do they always rush to chopping off tonsils in children? Why do they even rush? And yet they know those tonsils exist for a reason. They're actually part of the immune system. If they are not there, the child will actually suffer because they're actually the ones that trap the microorganisms that are headed towards the lungs.
Well, this Indian doctor told me that, with the time, the children, they tend to shrink with time. So don't do that. Just give water with salt and let her gargle every morning and evening before bed.
Yeah.
Now she's very okay.
Natural remedies.
She's very okay. Yeah.
And here I tell people to use salt to brush their teeth, and they tell me, salt makes my teeth turn yellow. But this is somebody who drinks soda, this is somebody who eats wheat, eats ugali every single day, and he's telling me, and he eats biscuits. He's telling me, salt makes my teeth turn yellow. I'm like, which salt? One day shall be interesting. Somebody's asking me a question here. Doc, why is it that most people are diagnosed with cancer today? Just maybe true. Is it true or is it a conspiracy? Now, the reality is this. Whether it's true or is a conspiracy, we don't know. What we know is there is cancer and it's actually sweeping off people. And of course, there are so many factors around cancer. One, of course, is the epigenetics. Most people focus on the genetics that people, when your grandfather had cancer, you'll end up having cancer, or chances are there that you have cancer. That's not true. The reality is the epigenetics. Okay, you've heard people saying, my grandfather used to eat sugar and he died at 96. So why are you telling us to avoid sugar? But then I tell you, is if your grandfather would wake up now and look at you and what you're doing right now, do you think he will be proud of you? And the answer is absolutely no. Why? Because the only thing that you do, that he used to do, is just eating sugar. But he even did it once and you're doing it 5 times a day. He used to walk long distances all over. So there are so many things that are around this cancer thing. And sometimes when you go into these questions, you get so sick about it, because cancer therapy actually causes cancer as a side effect. So you start wondering, why would we treat cancer to get cancer? I mean, So when you talk about it in form of conspiracy or in form of realities and all this, you start to realize that they will come after you. They will be very, hey, you see that? Oh, there was a time I used to see people selling those ampules for cancer. And I don't want to mention the hospital that that was happening because in those times that money was not there as such, you would simply get a vial and then go and find somebody who needs it and sell it because it was expensive. I think 23,000 for a vial for doxorubicin or so. And then, yeah, now your weekend is sorted. So you can imagine a young guy with 23,000 on Friday. Hey! Girls will know you by your old names. Hey, yeah. Mutaniita daktari. I mean, mimi ni daktari sasa. So let me take in these guys, all of them. But when I take you in, please mute your mic so that we can allow them to others to speak. So I'm going to talk to Star and then Bengo and then Dumisa. So Dumisa and Bengo, you can mute your mics as we speak to Star.
Hi Doc, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now Doc, I started my fitness journey and fasting this month.
Just hold on a minute. Just hold on, Star. Bengo, can you kindly mute your microphone? Thank you. Yes, let's continue, Star.
Yeah, so I started this month and I've dropped 3 kilos.
Amazing.
I feel great. My back pain is from 100, now I can say it's like 20%.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you had back problems?
I had back problems because I was 95 kilos.
Ooh.
So I sat on a very bad chair in an office. I don't like 2022 ikaniharibu mgongo.
Yes.
But I kept on hearing you ukisema go and lose weight. It's because of the weight. So now I exercise. I feel so good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this channel. The first day I woke up is I was scrolling on TikTok and then your video popped up. You're not ugly. You're fat.
You're like, what is wrong with this guy?
And that is how I woke up and went and signed up for gym.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back.
And yet there is somebody else who had that same video and got so upset and went straight into pizza, into just being themselves on one pizza plus the soda. I mean, how can that doctor tell me I'm fat?
It was the level of honesty in your voice. You're not ugly, you're fat. Simply go and exercise. Oh, that statement really hit me.
Star, you should have seen me. You should have seen me at around 98 to 102 kgs. My friend, I used to have this, do you remember cephalothorax?
Yes.
Where you have your you have your head and your thorax fused together. And now nobody understands if you have a head or you have, I don't know. It's just something just crazy. So you have a head and thorax fused and then the abdomen. I used to look so bad, but again, because anyway, it's not my testimony, it's yours.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Because I've done the 20 hours fast. Now I want to go to and do OMAD.
Yes.
So could you advise me on how to do it? Is it one meal at what time?
Yeah.
Or it depends on depends on what time I want to break.
Now the reason why we eat is because we want to follow the biological clock. So the reason why people do an evening OMAD from around 3 all the way to around 7 is because your hormones are now getting down. It's time now for you to feed. So always, if you're doing an OMAD, prefer an evening OMAD from around 3 all the way to around 7. That will be the best time to take your OMAD. Number 2, when you're doing an OMAD, if you're starting it in the beginning, you can actually add in some complex carbohydrate to help you wean off the simple carbohydrate addiction. But as you go deeper into it, simply just drop the complex carbohydrates and remain with the protein, fatty protein plus vegetables plus an avocado, and enjoy them. You will actually lose weight faster than you think. And then do not go into the gym and run on a treadmill because your weight is still high. You might end up exerting a lot of pressure on your knees and you'll get arthritis. So you can actually go low on the runs and on the skips. You can simply do some squats here, light squats. You can do some weightlifting a little bit here so that your muscles start to burn the fat faster and give you the caloric deficit state. So you ease up on the carbohydrates. You eat around 3 to all the way to 7 anytime, any hour between that. You can choose an hour that suits you and your schedule, and you enjoy your meal and keep pushing.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome, and
That
I'm
I'm
proud
not
of you.
fat.
I'm so
You
proud of
remember,
you.
I don't know if you can remember, on Instagram I sent you a picture of the lady who was doing Ozempic, the Ozempic version of Kenya. It was me. Now
Man.
it's being sold. You know,
Yeah.
earlier she did this
The
thing
balloon.
for hii ya kutoa mafuta kwa tumbo.
Oh,
No,
liposuction.
for removing fat. Yes, she did lipo. Then akawaletea customers. Now she's on Ozempic.
And now she's bringing in customers because she actually showed us, and she has a podcast. You know that she
Yes.
has a podcast, and she was actually showing us how she's
Yes.
injecting herself with the Ozempic. And now there was another
Yeah.
drug there for nausea, the Ondansetron. There were supplements there, and then I just saw the food that she was eating: French fries, sausages. I'm like, ah, this one.
Like, I think my sister has met her.
Yeah.
Ni wale, she shows us a different life on social media. Backwards, akona a different life. So she eats everything backwards.
Yeah.
And then social media anakuja portray. So you see now she has brought in lipo worked. Now she's working again for the Ozempic thing.
No, she's not Rispa. She's not Rispa. Rispa is another one. Rispa is another one that actually does the same things.
Yeah,
but this one is
Rispa.
Yeah.
She's yeah.
What is
You know, hatuwezi mtaja.
Yeah, hatuwezi juu tutaletewa shida. I wish she had a Christian name ndo tutaje. Lakini she has names that are and Ozempic is 99,000 shillings.
It's 90. Not even 90.
Do you know how much 90,000 shillings can actually buy you food for the next 5 months straight?
No, and you pay gym. Hata unaweza lipa personal trainer hapo.
That is the problem.
Akusukume kidogo.
Because I thought Ozempic will work on its own. I saw her in the gym. I saw they've told her to reduce the food that she's eating. So I thought, why would you tell me the same things that people are telling other people and then inject me with the 99,000 shilling injection? It's a crazy world.
I think 3 times a week. That 99 is 1 month only.
Mko na nguvu.
Yeah.
You guys have money.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Also, I appreciate you and thank you for coming through.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. You've seen that lady. That lady who has this podcast. And actually, one of her podcasts, there was a gynecologist who is always dancing on Instagram. Your gyna is dancing on Instagram. Yeah? When I put out a post about hormonal contraceptives affecting our women, he was the first person to even tag the whole family. I think the whole family is made up of gynas who are all also dancing on Instagram. Still dancing. So the whole family came in attacking me. And if you go on my platform on Instagram, Health and Wellness, Dr. Lewis Muchile, you'll see there's a post that I put out about. It's actually a video or a reel that I put out saying why are children given. These girls given at 10 years, you're given the HPV vaccine, and still at 18, your gyna gives you hormonal contraceptive to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. Why are we giving estrogen when we were actually preventing estrogen in the first place? They tagged the whole family and they came there, and it became a post about them because they know how rogue they are. So their podcast, I can't remember the name of their podcast, but they hosted this gyna, and this gyna brought them alcohol. He came with Black Label alcohol on a podcast of 2. One is fat, the other one is there just coming in because I saw her also eating the same things that they eat. Comes with alcohol on that podcast, and this is a doctor who wants to tell me about hormonal contraceptives and how he has been doing well in this gynecology field. He's somewhere in Upper Hill. So if your gyna is in Upper Hill, start thinking twice.